welcome to Journey
Hey.
Church's Teacher Talk. I'm Steph, and
Hey.
with Sean, and we are on chapter 18 this morning, or today, of the missions era. So, yeah.
Missions
What are we
era.
talking about today?
Well, again, let's just hit that denominational lens, because really, when we're talking about missions, we're still talking about apostolic advancement. We're still talking about like the church in motion.
Right.
Because I'm sometimes, I cringe a little bit. We see that word missions era, and I just think we've so made that one person's role who goes somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think, they made the same mistake back then. They get a revelation, hey, this is for the Gentiles too, not just for the Jews.
Right.
And Paul gets a hold of it, and he's like, yes, let's run with this.
Right.
And meanwhile, a lot of the apostles, if not like most of the main 12, they hang back.
Yeah.
So you actually got you got the 12 kind of hanging out near Jerusalem, and then Antioch actually becomes like kind of the hub for all of the movement and all of the sending. So when we're talking about missions, we're talking about being missional.
Right.
But that's like core to who we are, guys.
Yeah.
Like that's not like, oh, I give money to the missionaries in Kenya and they do all God's work.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, we see that even here, right? Like there's a big focus on Paul and the things that he does, right?
Yes.
But
appropriately.
yeah, absolutely.
Because there's a lot on him.
Right, but it was not just Paul singularly bopping around on the bus, doing his tour and,
Paul on a bus.
Right? Like he's discipling, groups here, and they're discipling other groups, and we're seeing an expansion of the kingdom.
Yeah. And I think, it's one of the main, probably one of the most missed ways of ministering in this age is that Jesus was always in motion.
Yeah.
And Paul somehow picked up on that. Maybe it was just part of their culture back then. You had to walk everywhere. You had the camel everywhere. You had a horse everywhere. But he inherently picked up this idea like we live this in motion.
Yeah.
There's always a sense of movement and going, connecting. So when we're talking about missions, friends, so remember, we're talking about being missional, and that's actually core to who we are. When the born again spirit that's inside of us, even Holy Spirit, was sent. He was apostoled, apostoled into us.
Yeah.
And so that thing that wants to move and meet other people's needs and connect with them where they're at, that's in us.
Yeah, right. And we don't have to go across the ocean to do that, right? Like that's something that we can carry with us everywhere that we go.
At our job sites, in our families, all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super good. We'd love to hear from you. Please
Yes.
feel free to comment below. And may you delight in his face as you delight in his word.
See you tomorrow.